Last time on the Late Night Lake Show podcast. Kevin Durant now says he wants to leave. So they're going to keep Kyrie for what, a year? And then are they then going to re-sign him to an extension? Or what's going to happen here? What's the long-term play here? Like, it sounds all good and funky in the moment, but long-term, this play would make no sense for Brooklyn. You might as well take the trade while you have it until he potentially leaves for nothing at the end of the season. It's not making a lot of sense to me, so I'm gonna keep holding on to the Kyrie Irving trade until training camp kicks off. If indeed it does start and he's still on the Nets roster, then sure, maybe. Then they got us. Then, hey, they stood firm and bless their souls on an incredible season that will be lying ahead. But nah, man, I'm still not going for this. I think it's all been said, it's been stated several times throughout.
It's a KD article, Kwame. The article is about Kevin Durant and new trade partners emerging around the league, right? Brooklyn that stupid? Is Brooklyn that dumb? I don't want to dismiss that all of this could end up with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving still being on the Brooklyn Nets at the beginning of training camp. I think there's a world where that definitely is a situation. Will Kevin Durant show up to training camp? Yo, no say. KD, Kyrie back on the Nets is a situation that I think the Nets front office can only feel good about, because they know that they're not going to lower that KD asking price. And they also know in the back of their heads, no team is going to come and meet that KD asking price. So to them, they're like, hey, we set the bar. Like you said, we're not going to get less than what the Jazz got for Rudy Gobert. Yeah. So what do you want us to do, Kevin?
Dog, my thing is, how are you going to even be able to walk it back, even if they do double down? Just like, look, KD, you got to stay. How are you supposed to walk back all the statements that were made about him not having faith in the head coach and the GM wanting them both out of there for him to stay? He can't walk that back. Imagine going into a locker room with that kind of tension in there. Come on, bro. Like, that's just not a healthy work environment.
Wrong.
1 week later.
At least we sounded okay, Kwame. Like the audio itself and the production, our framing, we looked good. Everything else that was said clearly was just bullshit. And sometimes we just got to put it out there for the folks. Obviously, if you've been tuning in to the show, Kwame and I, last few episodes, holding it down. First of all, welcome back, Omar. Omar is now a father too, so celebration for you, my man.
Congrats, my brother.
Thank you.
Yeah. So pretty much, long story short, Kwame and I were pretty not anywhere on board with that. Kyrie was going to be anywhere else but a Los Angeles Laker. And would you look at that? Kevin Durant rescinds his trade demand. Everyone's going to be walking into the Barclays Center holding hands. Kyrie Irving, KD, Joe Tsai, anyone else that's in the room. So yeah. And Kwame and I kind of sound really stupid, but it's all good, man. Hey, it's all good. Sometimes you got to laugh at yourself, put yourself out there. And yeah, it is what it is. Kwame, any words about your wonderful performance? Because these are great rants. I just want to say.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm sick. I'm sick. But I called it, man. I said I can't see it happening unless Kevin Durant walks it back. But how is he gonna walk it back after calling for people's jobs, all this? And in true KD fashion, he did what everybody thought he wouldn't. He walked it back, which is nuts. Hey, man. But I guess it's not the first time he's punked out. So I'm not surprised here. So I mean, it hurts. I don't like being wrong, and I was really, high on that horse, but he proved us wrong again, and looks like the Brooklyn Nets will be running it back. But they got their new point guard, Ben 10, so they're out there. They're gonna do their thing. But I guess, man, I'm not too happy about it. But hey, we move on. We gonna be where we need to be regardless. We gonna figure it out.
Thus ends the 2022-2023 dream of three superstars suiting up for the Los Angeles Lakers. That is obviously not the case. And honestly, you ask a lot of Lakers fans, they would rather go back to the 2020 version where it was LeBron, AD, and all the complementing pieces. Since, Kwame and I ended up, self-proclaiming ourselves donkeys of the day with our Kyrie Irving takes, the Lakers actually made a transaction. You've heard in our Spaces episodes that we posted on the podcast, Jovan Buha dropped by to talk with Guru Stace and the family. I asked a couple questions myself just about the big old Patrick Beverley trade. He is now a Los Angeles Laker. Once again, another transaction that splits the franchise, or the fan base, splits the fan base in half. People are either looking forward to seeing, junkyard dog Patrick Beverley, or they just remember all of the bad times of his 10 years with the Clippers. So to kind of take the light off of the Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant chapter of this summer, and now on to some actual transactions that the Lakers have made. What can you tell us about Mr. Patrick Beverley and what we can expect from him?
For one, I think he's the prototypical case of you hate to play against him or hate to root against him, but he's that type of player. When he's on your team, I think it's good, right? Because he plays with a lot of effort. His nickname is Mr. 94 feet, so he's going to pick whoever's the guard on the other team is going to pick him up full court. Plays with a lot of passion. And I think that definitely, in the dog days of the regular season, I think that is very, very helpful, right? Because especially on veteran-led teams, there are days where, players aren't just going to bring it, right? Because it's a long 82-game season. In addition to that, I think I'm just looking at the numbers here. He's our, percentage-wise, I know he doesn't take that many threes, but he's our best three-point shooter right now. Yeah. Hopefully that changes, right?
Welcome to the team. And they said the Lakers weren't going to get no shooters, man. They said we were out for shooters.
We got shooters. We got shooters.
We got our 3-and-D guy, right? So he's a career 38% three-point shooter.
We take that.
We'll take that. And I think for me, the biggest thing, playing alongside LeBron and AD, he knows how to attack closeouts, and he's going to be getting a lot of open looks. So even if the three ball's not falling, he has a decent floater, which is helpful. He can play make a little bit too. He can make some, nice, passes to the big man or cross court passes in the corner. So he's a little bit of playmaking chops, which is important too. But I think from a, now like linking it back to the coach and Darvin Ham, I think he fits the system really well. I think they're, we're most likely looking at a twin tower defense with either Thomas Bryant or probably Damian Jones. I don't know. We can probably get into that, but pairing that big man up with AD, I think, bringing that point of attack defense is very, very instrumental in helping funneling players into the paint and, forcing very, very tough shots. In addition to that, I think one other stat that, really excited me, I sent it out, to the timeline. In the last 5 seasons, the lowest field goal percentage allowed as the closest defender is Pat Bev with 41.9%. Actually, he's right behind Giannis. Giannis is 41.3%. Right. He's the only guard on the list. So it's Giannis, Pat Bev is second, then Ben Simmons, Anthony Davis, and then Rudy Gobert. Wow. So for a guard at 6'1", that's very, very impressive. So we're adding, that type of dog to our defense. So I think it's a much needed improvement. And I think it's just, at least I hope it's just the first domino to kind of get things into form for our season next year.
Mr. 94 feet.
Kwame, what's your take? First of all, when you saw folks that were not fucking with the Patrick Beverley acquisition, what was the first thing you thought? Like, what? I don't get it, man. We're at, what is it? It's August 29th. LeBron's in year 20. Some things some things people just gonna have to let go. We trying to win now. Patrick Beverley apparently is in the win now category. I don't know, man, or is it still like F Patrick Beverley forever?
Honestly, for me, anything to help improve our roster. We just cannot have a repeat of last season. Obviously, there's a black cloud that's still looming over our roster, but
What's
hey,
the black cloud, man?
hey man, it's number 0. We all know what it is. But for me, man, anything that improves the roster, gets us trending back upwards is welcome to me. And again, it's something that we sorely needed, that we saw. We didn't have a great point of attack defender after the previous year of having Dennis Schroeder actually do really well in that role. It was sorely missed this past season. So I'm glad that we have that. I think we do need a little more tightening up on the wings, because it's a wing dominant league, man. It is what it is. I think JTA and Troy Brown can help with that a little bit. Braun, could do some of that as well. But it would have really been nice to have kept Stanley Johnson in that trade. That's probably the one thing I probably, in my personal preference, would have rather had given Wenyen as the throw-in instead of Stanley Johnson. I think we're pretty good on our big man depth chart at the moment. So I would have preferred to have kept Stanley, because I think he would have helped, with that 3-4 kind of defending on that end. But hey, we gave what we had to give up. I think Pat Bev is the best of those 3 players. I think he fills a very specific need that we had. Again, he's not a point guard that is going to come in and be ball dominant. He normally hasn't really played that role unless he was kind of in the second unit. But hey, man, we won a championship with LeBron at point guard. I think we're trying to revitalize that formula a little bit. Darvin Ham has expressed he wants to play that, 4 out, 1 in. Pat Bev can sit in that corner and shoot that ball. That's what he does. That corner 3 is his specialty. So I think this works well for us, man. We still got to shake up the roster a little bit more, but I like the direction we're going. I like the acquisition. I don't have much to complain about. And again, I get it. People may not like Pat Bev for who he is, but what he provides on the court, hey, sometimes when you play for the purple and gold, hey, you family. I thought that's what it was. I knew the Laker Nation, but somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Thought once you join purple and gold, you and the family.
Long list of former enemies turned teammates that have worn the purple and gold. Kobe's spun that block a couple times between Matt Barnes and Meta World Peace, Ron Artest, and even LeBron James won championship with Rajon Rondo. And Rajon Rondo is a Google search away from you seeing him taking a picture with a little girl, that shirt that reads LeBron's a bitch. So I think if these grown men that are choosing to be co-workers together can get over it, and I had to get over Dwight Howard rejoining the Lakers, and I had to get over, Jared Dudley joining the Lakers, I think we could all get used to a little Patrick Beverley. At the end of the day, Kwame, you said it. He's the dude you hate playing against. Every fan base has the same opinion of Patrick Beverley. Yep. Except for the fan base that has him on the team.
Exactly.
Like, the jokes aren't going to change, right? Like, whatever jokes you had stored away, you fired off already, whatever, right? Let's just have him shuffle the cards a little bit, right? Let him be the black hat on the court. And he said, I'm just here to fuck shit up and knock down a couple of threes. That's all I can ask for. Somebody that knows their job and can do it to the utmost of their abilities. Finally, shout out Marshall High School. Sad, Kwame. We were really starting to collect our Chicago Lakers, and then we got Chicago for Chicago trade between THT and Patrick Beverley. Oh, no tears for Talon. Nobody brought him up.
No, I like THT, man. Hey, I like THT, but hey, we got Pat Bev coming off a playing championship, baby. He got the game going. So I'm gonna take Pat Bev, man. Again, I think THT has a lot of talent. I think he still can grow. But he's best utilized with the ball in his hand. And I think with LeBron James, it's really hard to give somebody else the ball and tell them to dominate, especially when he still doesn't quite really have his playmaking skills up to par just yet. So he can create for himself and get himself some, strictly right hand layups, no matter what side, no matter the reverse layup, whatever. He's going to get him a right hand layup. But is that what we need? Do we really just need somebody to pound the ball while everybody just kind of stands there? I don't think so, man. So again, I think THT was a great project, but I think he can't see his maximum potential with this current Lakers team. So I think we traded him for somebody that gave us better value. And I already know we're going to have the criers that are going to be like, well, we kept him over Caruso. Why did we do that? Oh my gosh, we gave up Caruso for nothing. And now we traded THT and whatever, bro. Y'all be all right.
Yeah, seriously.
Y'all be all right.
He's young. He's in a good situation. He's 21. He can definitely, hopefully, figure out how to finish going left. with the Utah Jazz. I think he'll have plenty of opportunity doing that.
Man.
But I just think he never really fit the, where the team, like the picture or the outlook, right? Like we were in pretty much championship contention when LeBron came, and he was drafted pretty early. I think a year earlier than most people would have thought. And honestly, I do think that, the Lakers didn't do the best job of handling his development, but that's neither here nor there.
Right.
But hopefully, I wish him the best, and I think he will, get better, and he's going to be in a better position to get that next contract. I think he has one more year left, and I think he's in a good situation to definitely reap the benefits. And back to Stanley Johnson, I think Jovan reported in our last spaces in the podcast that we had in the last episode that he and was it THD? I think they both were on the outside looking in as part of the rotation. So that was actually kind of surprising to me, considering how much we have invested in THT, and Stanley Johnson looked pretty well last season as well. Pretty good last season, I mean. But that kind of points to me that I think Troy Brown and JTA must really be impressing the coaches and the staff in training camp or practice. I don't know what part of the season they're in now, but I think as far as wings, I think that's still we still have big question marks there.
So no, you do actually make really good points, but I mean, for me, how many more wings you think we need to complete this roster? Do you think we just need like one or two? I mean, Lonnie Walker's a little bit on the smaller side. Max Christie probably doesn't have the body for it yet. We got Troy Brown, JTA, got LeBron. You think two more gets it done?
Two more. I think we just need someone within the 6'7" to 6'9" height range.
Mm-hmm.
I think JTA and who's the other guy? Troy Brown. They're like 6'6", 6'7". I think they're just like right under
6'6", and I think JTA is about the same. I think they said somewhere you 6'9", but I don't know if I bought that. But
yeah, just someone a little bit bigger, a little bit more size, just so you can throw at like the Kawhi Leonards, the PGs, like so we don't tax LeBron and AD. I think that's really the concern there.
No, you're right. I don't know if year 20 is going to be playing defense like that. I'm gonna keep it honest.
I don't
think
want
year
him
20
to.
is going to be playing.
I honestly don't want him to play defense. I mean,
till the
a little bit, but like
well, what's the starting lineup right now as currently constructed? How many defensive focused players are in that starting lineup? First of all, if we're playing the game of taking this roster as it is right now, I don't know if you're starting Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverley together.
You probably do.
You probably do. Because
when none's still on the roster, I think you have to.
Because Pat Bev kind of fits into that Avery Bradley mold. And I think that kind of just – I know it's a different coaching staff, but, I mean, Vogel ran the two big lineup, so I think Ham's going to do the same thing. It's just offensively, he's probably going to run a different 4-1 lineup, but defensively, I think it's going to be similar.
That is a short ass backcourt. That is
6'4" and 6'1".
It is.
Yeah, I think today that's a short backcourt. But
hey man, Pat Bev plays bigger than his height on defense.
You're right.
He does.
I'll give him credit. I'll give him credit.
He's also a really, really good rebounder.
For his size, he's actually pretty good.
We're not good at none of our guards were really good at rebounding.
Well, we thought we had one, but
we thought we did have one, but he
ain't go so well.
He was doing something else. But
it'd be nice to think of those two players together as if their intensity complemented each other. That would be a scrappy.
Not when it hurts the team.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And I think right. So going back to the point of people being professionals, and if LeBron can get over it, what we didn't talk about was obviously the long history that Patrick Beverley and Russell Westbrook have. Pat Bev's already responding to LeBron tweets talking about, yep, Russ is going to have a great year. Kwame, you'll have to let me know if this is LeBron James, ninja mindset tactics or
kiss of death.
Right. Or is he starting to, give some compliments because he's reading the tea leaves a little bit. But, I go back, Pat Bev and Russell Westbrook. Nothing. We'll have to monitor the situation closely. What you think, Kwame?
No, you're right. I mean, again, to your point, I think if Russ comes with the intensity that we had long seen, and you got Pat Bev, that could actually be a pretty decent combo. But based off the Russ I saw last year, man, it's just not a recipe for greatness. But I think you have to start that backcourt again. I mean, I think Reeves probably has done enough, in my opinion, just showing off his rookie season. Obviously, he makes the natural progression in his second season. I would assume that he should be able to start, but then you run Kendrick Nunn and Pat Bev off the bench. That's also a really small backcourt. So it kind of depends. I'd be curious to see how Ham wants to do it if we do indeed end up with this being our final roster. I find it very, very, very hard that this could be our final lineup, but if it is, it's going to be interesting. So hey, hopefully Ham's a creative dude. Yeah, it's going to be a nightmare. But hey, I hope Ham's a creative dude. I'm sure he is. So I'm sure he's got a couple ideas for worst case scenario. But I'm not too keen on this backcourt. I'm not too keen on the roster. This is what it is. But is it? I gotta ask.
You see, we changed our tune. We're taking this one step at a time.
But I gotta ask this for everybody. As currently constructed, is this roster better than last year's?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're less old. We can run.
Right. We have
up and
more
down
athletic and I think
full game,
more
48 minutes.
defensive-minded players that are on the team. I like Lonnie Walker and I like Patrick Beverley, for just fitting the mold. So
Lonnie's interesting to me because his size, his athleticism, like again, this is a stretch, right? If the player hasn't shown defensive chops, like how likely is that player to do it now? But if he can buy into the defense, I think he definitely has a shot at starting. But again, I don't know what was promised to him with that MLE contract, but I think he has a shot.
Yeah, our last MLE didn't go so well, so hopefully.
Same thing that was promised to Kendrick Nunn. How many games can you play? Great, you have exceeded expectations.
For real.
I mean, he looks good. He's been playing in the Rico Hines runs. He's been looking nice, but again, that's just those pro-am, so it's not really special.
Well, the pro-am these days can really, really derail a season. Clearly, where do you guys stand on this? Like, Chet gets his, Kwame, talking shit. You had a pretty strong opinion once Chet went down with his injury. You think players not going to be doing these pro-ams as much, or you think these are just one-offs?
I think they'll attempt to, but I assume that'll be something that's probably built into like the next CBA. Like that's going to be in contracts. Like, yeah, you can't be doing rec league pickups. Nah, you're an asset to our team, and we can't be paying you millions of dollars to ride the pine because you rolled your ankle playing with Kwame, Ricky, and Omar at the local LA Fitness. Like that's not cool. If I'm an owner, that's not cool. That's a bad investment on my part. I'm losing millions of dollars for you to not play on the court because you wanted to play with Todd from Walmart. That's not cool. So,
I think they'll still play. I think if you're just not built like a volleyball player, I think you should not be playing these pro-am tournaments or whatever. It's like these pickup runs.
So you're saying the development is bad. Kids aren't hitting them weights as much.
No, he needs to go to the weight room, man. He's like a matchstick.
Wow, he's a tall lamp in the corner.
He really is. I mean, look, he gets to lift in the off season, and he'll probably get drug tested the first day he's back.
Probably, but at least now they can shamelessly tank for Victor out of France. I don't know how to say his last name. So I don't want to butcher him, but now they can shamelessly, tank the Twin Towers.
It sounds good.
Probably close, yeah.
That works.
I'm not in the business of butchering names, so I'm just calling Victor. So hey, you put him and Chet together, you might have the Twin Towers moving forward. I mean, or Beanstalks is what we should call them, the Beanstalks. That's probably a little better.
Yeah, well, hopefully the one coming in, Victor's been lifting just a little bit more. He looks like, lean muscle a little bit. He's got, once you get past 7 feet tall, man, I'm assuming it's very hard to get those limbs muscular and built up. There's probably a pause in there somewhere, but yeah, unless you the most dominant ever. So
he's 209 in terms of weight, and Chet is 190.
I'm sorry, 209 at what height?
7'1". 7'2".
Dog, wait, but 18. Chet's is damn near illegal. 190.
Chet is 190.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it a bean. Like if I accidentally stepped on Chet's foot,
That's
it's
glass.
breaking.
Yeah, that's glass. That's street clothes right there. You want to talk about street clothes?
Hey, obviously he has had a lot of success. So all these guys are, and height plays a huge role right into the sport that you play. But and I hope the NBA, builds the muscle like it does for a lot of athletes. Brandon Ingram notoriously was skinny when he came into the league. He's not a swole dude by any sense of the imagination, but he's definitely not, the same lanky guy. And outside of that, God bless them. I just hope neither of these boys become Sean Bradley. That's it. And I think they both have shown in college their potential. But my number one rule is I need to see you play against men with child support and mortgages to make. That's it. I just need them at an age where they facing real grown men that, got issues at home. And then they come to work and then you take it out on you. Right. That's right. They got to go put food on the table. You feel me? LaMelo Ball is just out there having fun. I mean, he's amazing. Nothing obviously against LaMelo, but LaMelo's what? 19, 20? Is he 20 now? But he's balling. He's in like a holographic Lamborghini. I'm just taking it to the grocery store. I'm like, that is a man that is enjoying his life.
He got a trunk in the hood.
Right. You saw that.
Yeah. I'm like, what? This dude's putting milk and eggs in the hood.
Right. Right. I had questions just about just the outrageousness for just very minimal groceries. That's moves you make when you're just out to be seen. I feel them. Fellas, where do we go? Where the hell do we go from here? Okay. All hope is it's by all intents and purposes, nothing has necessarily changed as far as options for a Buddy Hield, Miles Turner package, options for being a part of the Donovan Mitchell trade to what everyone assumes is the New York Knicks, which I keep thinking is getting weirder and weirder by the day of why he's, there's a waiting game with Utah players, I know, but yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting if there's a mystery team that all of a sudden pops up at, the 11 o'clock hour and then it's, it gets a little tricky. But I mean, the Lakers still have their options. We all thought Patrick Beverley would probably be a part of that larger 3-team deal. But, going forward, let's just ask the simple question. Now that Pat Bev's on the roster, are you still prioritizing that Indiana package, Omar?
I would say so. I mean, I think so. In my opinion, and it doesn't necessarily align with the front office, but I think the Hield
probably in the right mindset. Then
I think the Hield, Turner, and potentially, get positioning ourselves within that 3-team trade deal. Or I think the best case scenario would get into that 3-team trade deal and also bringing the Pacers as a 4th team. To potentially get the 2 guys from the Pacers and then 1 wing from wherever. Either it's the Knicks, and I know you're sick of hearing this name, but Cam Reddish.
Yeah.
But
he'll probably end up a Laker, man. That's how wrong I've been about this offseason. So
right. I mean, him or Bogdanovich's name has been out there. There's Malik Beasley. He's not a wing, but what else? Is there another wing on the Knicks or the Jazz?
Not really.
No.
Okay.
Beasley was another name that popped up, but you're right. Yeah, not a
okay. So Bogdanovich is literally the only other player, but I think adding those 3 players to the current roster that we briefly talked about significantly raises the ceiling. And you add the necessary complementary players and high IQ players that are coachable, that have a puncher's chance in the playoffs. Honestly, like if you put them in a 7-game series, I think they're they could play with the best of them. Honestly, I don't think there's any team that's a super team or juggernaut out in the West. I know it's a deep Western consideration this year, but anything happens. I mean, the season is so long that by the time you get to the playoffs, like there's someone's dealing with this or that. And I think, in the way the playoffs shake out, I think you have a chance when you have LeBron and AD. And I think we talked about it a few times. I think this season and then probably next is like literally, the years of like we're still getting, somewhat of the apex greatness LeBron, right? So, and we know, where he goes in terms of his bag when he goes into the playoffs. So I think we have a chance, right? He's like so cerebral. He's so smart. You put all the pieces together. He figures it out with AD still, as long as he's healthy too. And I think that's been a big emphasis from his standpoint and the teams. I think
Three-team trade, Omar, for Buddy and Miles. Are you giving up both first-round picks?
Yeah, I am. I know. I know people have been going back and forth, but
I don't think it's been people. I think it's been the fucking Lakers front office saying one shit and everybody else just arguing and being upset that they keep saying it.
True, but here's the thing. I mean, sometimes like when you're trying to make deals, when the other team knows that you have these 2 first-round picks to offer, it's there's only so much leverage you can have in terms of negotiations, right? And when the other team knows how desperate you are, and when in reality you put in Russell Westbrook and his contract and how he is as a player, there isn't much you can waiver, right? You have to kind of give up the 2 first-round picks. Like I don't even so honestly, like even if it's any other position, if there's any other person within that GM standpoint in the front office, I don't think they could somehow negotiate a different deal. Like I think they would still have to give up the 2 picks. I mean, number one, it's the Lakers. It's the Lakers.
You say this ain't a F-Rob tax?
No, I mean not necessarily. I think he's been willing to. I mean, he loves giving out picks. I mean, he gave out a fucking pick when we
said, fuck them picks. Yeah, we don't care.
You can have a pick.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's actually really bad at giving out picks.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he gave a pick when we traded for Dennis Schroeder. He gave a pick when we gave up Russell Westbrook. So, and it was a first-round pick last year. So, it's the front office. I mean, they just keep playing games. I don't really like. I get that they know they made a gigantic mistake last offseason, but holding on to that other first-round pick doesn't really do much. I get that maybe you have some flexibility down the road, but I'd rather have a team intact going into the offseason, going into the training camp, and then okay, these are the dogs that we're going to go into battle and war with.
But wait a second, Kwame. What if Darvin Ham's words and what if he means everything he says about him thinking that he can fix the Russell Westbrook situation with him still on the team? What if he's serious? What if the Lakers are dead ass serious about we're not trading these 2 firsts and we're gonna flip Russ? It's gonna be for 1 first, and if not, we're just going to trot him out there and put him under the Darvin Ham car wash of how to utilize the best years of your career. What do you say about that angle? Do you see the Lakers opening that door? And if they do, where do we go from there as a late night Lake Show industry?
If they do, I don't even know the words for it, man. I don't even know the words, but hey, man, if they think that they can really change Russell Westbrook at this point in their career, they're going to meet the same fate that we did, thinking that Kyrie was going to be a Laker. They're going to have to eat their words. They're going to be met with disappointment. They're going to be salty that it didn't work. And the fan base is going to chew that ass out. I'm be honest. I'm with Omar, man. Send the picks, bro. At this point, this is like a must need. You got to get them off. And Omar said it perfectly. We're operating from a position of weakness, bro. And everybody in the league knows it. Everybody in the league knows Russ was on our roster just cooking us last season. We can't run it back, man. I don't care what changed around it. Russ is still a problem. And again, he might not be a problem on another team, but let's find that out on that team. I don't want to see it on this team anymore. I'm good. So, like I said, I'm with Omar, man. They got to do whatever they can to offload this dude. Again, preferably for depth. I'll take the depth. If it's Miles Turner, Buddy Hield, Bogdanovich, Malik Beasley, Cam Reddish, whoever. I don't care who it is. If we we send out Russ and a filler and, we get 2 or 3 quality players back, I'll take it. Because at this point, if nothing else, we can reflip those assets for more than what we could do for Russ. So at this point, I think you just got to do it, man. You got to. I think that's the only way. And again, it seems like they've been posturing for expiring deals because if I'm not, misspoken, Pat Bev is on the last year of his deal, correct?
True.
Yeah, he is.
So it seems like they're posturing.
Yeah.
it looks like they're opting for
For what I have
players.
no idea. For what I have no idea.
Hey,
Because next year's offseason.
Next year.
Next year's big
do
H
this
is
again.
cool.
Let's shuffle the deck again. Let's go star hunting again. Let's play the waiting game again. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Clearly, I don't know shit. And there's one thing I know for sure is I don't know a goddamn thing about what this front office is operating and how they're thinking. That is for damn Skippy. Yeah, you hear about, the Lakers are trying to prioritize not taking on longer contracts. One, prioritizing not trading 2 first picks unless it's agreed, obviously makes them a contender. 2, and then 3, the head coach is saying that he thinks he can fix Russ. I'm not trying to be negative. I just am scared. And I'm at the point now where I've kind of tapped out on my get behind me. I'm going to lead this charge of X, Y, and Z is about to happen for our Lakers, because that's what we do at the end of the day. We fall and fail forward. I'm not going to be the first one in this line. Y'all play Fall Guys. There's one of the maps where there's all these little squares on the ground, and you got to see which ones actually are actual pathways and which ones light up. Bro, once you get about halfway through, you got a whole bunch of Fall Guys trying to push each other over to see if that one is the next right space or if they just fall and they got to go back to the start. I'm not leading the damn pack anymore, God damn it. I'm waiting for someone else to fall over the edge. And if somebody wants to say, hey, Ricky, I guarantee Russell Westbrook isn't going to be a Laker to start opening season, I'm going to say, I believe in you. I'm going to retweet you. And then I'm not going to expand upon it because I'm kind of tapped out on it. So I'll ask you two fellas as we wrap up the episode. Is Russell Westbrook going to be a Laker to start the season?
I'll be honest, man. I think I should side with you. I think we should get the hell out the prediction business because we completely failed the last one. So you know what? Y'all tell me. I don't know. If he is, boo. If he's not, hey, yippee. I don't know what's gonna happen. I was so sold on the Kyrie thing. I'm telling you, man. I etched it in stone. I was like, this is real. This is prophecy.
We had hour-long phone call conversations, 3-way phone call conversations.
Dog, like I was so set on it, and then it all vanished with one article. Just gone. So for me, I don't even know anymore. I'm lost. I don't know what's been happening this whole offseason. I don't think I've hit on a single prediction. I'm good, y'all. I'll let Rob tell me what's going on. So we'll see if I can use the in Rob we trust hashtag
for our YouTube folks. Tell us in the
comments. Y'all tell us because y'all clearly got y'all. They got the. You said you off the comments, folks. Maybe not on that.
LMS 2K Gaming.
Somebody to tell me, bro. I don't know. I'm done. Predictions, I'm off. Don't ask me for no prize pick bets, but download prize picks. But I have nothing for y'all, man. So Omar, we gonna leave it up to you. What do you have? What do you think?
Wow.
All the pressure, bro.
Yeah, seriously. Honestly, if you asked me a week ago, I was the same position as you guys. Now,
right. It's almost September.
I think he's gonna be showing up at training camp, man, and we're gonna get a post. I know there was didn't the Lakers social media account just post Westbrook?
Yep.
And I know they went into
investigative ID.
Some dude on Twitter said, "Oh, he's wearing the old shirt and stuff like that." People know that players still own old shirts, right? And they can just show up to the gym and
swear
it. Just wear it
on that ass though. They was inspecting
that was pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty lit. I mean, I don't know. They seem really hell bent on not giving up those 2 picks. Like
that's so nasty that that's been consistent. We have to start paying attention when folks tell us who they are, right?
Yeah,
they say this every single step of the way. It's kind of pissing me off now.
They're not going to give up those 2 picks if they do not return a superstar talent or a player. The only person that was Kyrie. He's off. He's gone. There is no one available on the current market, no rumored names, right? We had the Charlotte names. None of those are superstar players. Knicks, the Pacers, none of these guys are superstar talent. So the front office doesn't believe, at least, we were talking earlier, but the front office, to me, they don't believe in LeBron and AD. and a complementary set of role players that fit the coach and the players, the superstar players, they don't think that's a championship level contending team. So I don't know. I think Russell Westbrook will be back. I think he will be back at training camp. And
Damn. Damn. Hey man.
Unless something changes in the next. I mean, today, what's funny? I think Ricky, you tweeted. I mean, I don't know when you did it, but you started this Leverage Mondays news dump and stuff. Nothing came out today.
Nothing came out
Nothing.
today.
When I saw the crickets, I'm like, oh man.
Oh god.
We're in hell. We are in hell. But you made a good point, Omar. Like, again, if the parameters that we're working around is we don't want to take on long-term salary, and if we're going to give up two picks, it's going to be for star talent or that instantly makes us a contender. You're not looking at very much. Be honest. Where is that? I'm not seeing that anywhere. That doesn't exist. And the fact that's even worse is that basically we have to sit and wait for other teams to make trades. We just going to be like, hey, can we slide in and get in on some
right?
Like, that's basically what we're doing. We can't even make a trade on our own. That is so sad.
What you got? Well, we got one first in Russell Westbrook.
We'll
get
pick
the
up
fuck up off my phone playing with me, man.
Dog, it's ugly. And that's if we're operating from that point, we are in deep doo-doo, my friend. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but I don't like what we're working with. But hey, if that was a time for Rob to earn his paycheck, it's going to be right now. So we'll see if he can pull any magic out. But if not, buckle up, fellas.
Do you guys want me to make things a little bit more depressing?
Yeah, let's do it.
Might as well.
Here are the free agents that are available in 2023. Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Chris Middleton. Kyrie Irving. Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, he has a beard now.
Kevin Love.
Oh, finally.
Andrew Wiggins.
Okay.
And then D'Lo. That's literally the list after that. It's just kind of like whatever.
This is what we're saving our bread for. Oh my god.
What? I don't get it.
I actually feel pretty good about Kevin Love eventually joining the Lakers 9 years too late. I feel good about that move being one of those things.
He's going to be a
LeBron gets his buddy to Hollywood, and I'm not saying Kevin Love is ass whatsoever. It's just one of those things that somebody that was rumored to possibly be a Laker 19 million times, and then they finally end up a Laker in the last 3 years of their playable career.
Like Carmelo.
Yeah,
a little too.
They can see it in our eyes.
Melo's probably going to be back too, honestly.
Please, I'm shutting off this fucking show. All right, guys. This is a good one. Thank you for tuning in to Late Night Lakers podcast. This was something. This is sometimes you gotta eat your vegetables. And I know at least for me, I'm gonna have to recalculate how I expect the rest of this story to play out. That is the 2022 offseason that was absolutely torpedoed by Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, who just are two enigmas of human beings in their own right. So when you say Kyrie, I was like, I'm not doing this shit again. The only I'm sure I will, but I'm not doing it right now. Leave me alone. It's
time to focus on Elena's bets. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, because our predictions these days.
We're not making predictions though.
We won't. We'll just facilitate.
Dom's about to run the network for a couple of weeks to get LNL's bets up off the ground. But in the meantime, y'all, we'll be on standby. To your point, Kwame. Hopefully, this is one of those things where we drop this episode and then we're completely wrong again tomorrow, and then all hell breaks loose in a good way. So fingers crossed for being wrong. But yeah, until then, make sure you subscribe to the Late Night Lake Show podcast wherever you get your Lakers content. Make sure you are following us on Twitter, Late Night Lakers. Tune into our spaces, and make sure you are subscribed and get our Late Night Lake Show newsletter, latenightLakeShow.com, articles, videos, all that good stuff. God damn it. All right, y'all. Till next week, we out. Peace.